There we go. Beautiful. How are we doing on gold this morning? That thing is toppy-turvy. 37 all the way down to 11. 25-point move, 26-point moves this morning. I see. What's going on, KP? How you doing? Rebo, what's going on? Good morning. Get the alerts out here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we'll give people a little bit to get in here, get Edgeful pulled up. It's all good. Sweet. All right. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Good morning, Deem. What's going on? Okay, everything's recorded. Awesome. Post live. All right. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Just had to get everything all set up there. All right. First thing we're going to take a look at. I think Freedom might be in here already. Not quite yet, but I'm sure I'll cover this again. What's going on, Mike? Good morning. So our gap fill report, gap fill by size. We are, you can add a custom one in now, 0 to 1.5. That's nice. Good addition. So we are now in the third bracket with a gap up. The only issue with this is that it's not a very significant data point given how many occurrences we've had. So the data might not be all that accurate for the past 6 months. Q's has a little more data. Doesn't feel like it should be a 50-50 or 100%, and that's only because it's had one occurrence. So if we go to like the past 3 years, and this is some of the only times I'll do this, we are gapped up 0.9%, 0.92 right now. You guys can see that in the bottom right corner. So we're in that fourth bracket, and these are our chances of having a fill of this gap today. Going over the larger time frame, though, completely forgot to add this in for yesterday. That previous day in London gap got filled. That was that gap from Friday into Monday's open. That was filled yesterday afternoon with that news that Trump is no longer pursuing tariffs on Europe or the European Union. So that's the reason that we had the push. We had that move from 610 all the way up to 618 in 22 minutes yesterday. And that was off of Trump canceling the tariffs for the European Union and then publishing his Greenland deal, which is pretty interesting. If you guys didn't see it this morning, let's see if I can find it real quick on Google. Deal. It was $100,000 per resident, and it was something very low, like $20 billion in total to go to Denmark. 1 hour ago, maybe it'll be on BBC. I want to see the numbers for it. I saw it on Walter Bloomberg. He posted it this morning. Doesn't look like it's on here anywhere. It was, I want to say it was about 20 billion. It wasn't very much, which, I mean, Greenland, I don't think has that many residents. Anyway, that's the reason that we had that crazy push. It was a $10 push over the course of 38 minutes, 37 minutes, and then kind of pittered out into close, and then we went right back to where the previous high was. And the reason that we had that sharp drop was because people were anticipating European Union tariffs, and then Trump came out on True Social and said, psych. So quite the little whipsaw that we had yesterday. But all is back to normal from Friday's close right now. Now, we do not have a previous day in London gap for today. What we do have a small issue with is the size of previous day's range. So that was a nearly 15-point candle. Missed 15 points by, actually did beat 15 points, $15.04. That was our range for yesterday on Qs. And then our little itty bitty London range right here, which I say little bit, tiny London range, or little bitty, whatever I said. That London range is still $3. So it's a decent size, almost $4, but we could engulf that with the opening candle. Our gap fill for today, if we were to get the gap fill, is all the way down to 616.06. So we're gapped up 0.92% right now, $5.64. Pretty unlikely that we get down to that level. What we could see is maybe 50% of the gap, and we can go to the customize on this, add in 50%, save that, and see what the odds are there for what we're anticipating into open. That is the fourth bracket. So 50-50 that we even get a 50% fill, and that's for both stats on this size. So go back to 100% of the gap fill. Pretty unlikely that we get a gap fill. If we do, we know that it's a pretty rare occurrence for a gap of this size. So I will be looking for a London 50 tap and then up. That's what I'm going to be looking for today. What's going on, Mark? How you doing? Good morning. And then we're going to continue trading the Tradeify accounts. Had a pretty good day with these in the afternoon yesterday. Managed to catch a little tiny bit of this move down. This was pretty strong momentum off of what appeared to be tariffs, and then I did not capitalize on any of this because I hit my profit target for the day on the Tradeify accounts. I probably wouldn't have done this on the Apex accounts or the Lucid Funded. Speaking of which, I'll pull those up from last night because the same exact thing. Lucid Funded. Last night we had, and this is all with micros. This isn't sizing up. This isn't going in overly confident in plays. But we did have these ones are up 823 right now. So just 400 away from a payout. Where is the... I'll pull it up on here so I think it's a little more clear. I don't like the lines on that. So last night we had the same exact thing happen on gold. What's going on, Joey? Good morning. So still all micros, but it's not very often that you get a 100-point drop on gold in 30 minutes. And that's exactly what happened last night. We went from 4.8. This is right at that 6 o'clock open. Momentum was very clearly down. I chased this one a little bit with that wick back up. This was about a 15-point wick. And then I entered and it dropped 20 points almost immediately. And that's with that strategy that we covered, trading trends on Tuesday, I believe. Good morning, Diego. How you doing? But anyway, stay sizing with the same micros, especially in a market like this. We can capitalize significantly on these types of moves. Gold made a 300-point swing. So 4855 down to 4755 in 30 minutes. Came all the way back up. about 90 points, and then went all the way back down another 100 points. And that was over the course of maybe 3 hours last night, 4 hours. Sometimes you get lucky enough to capitalize on that. And that should sum it up for open. Not really anything else that I'm taking a look at in terms of the inside bar. We are open to outside. Well, we are currently outside of previous day's range. Our previous day's high is 620.46. Probably not gonna open underneath that. We have 18 minutes to open, so we could drop another $2. Don't see it being very likely. So be on the lookout for, if we do open underneath that range, it's going to be very tight, and we're probably just going to go and take previous day's range anyway. And then for our outside days, we go to, this is another stat you can take a look at. Outside days on Qs, it's a bullish outside day right now, so we have a pretty good chance that we have a reversal, a small reversal back down. Over the past 6 months, that's slightly less. Slightly more, I mean. So something to keep in mind, we could reverse back down into that previous day's range. That's what this one is indicating. What's going on, Perez? How you doing? I'm bullish today. Lots of low resistance liquidity to the upside. Morning. What's going on, Freedom Trader? So Freedom Trader, this is what you were asking about yesterday. This is, now that we're real time, this is where you see the gap that we have pre-market, bottom right. Low resistance liquidity upside. I don't think gold, with the news that we got, KP, I don't think gold is going to get that large of a move to the upside today. So gold should have a pretty significant pullback. I would like to see us get back down to like 4,649 over the macro term. And that's maybe even 4,583. And that's because the past 3 days we pushed up off of that Greenland and European Union tariff news, and that all just got inversed yesterday. So we'll do a quick little stat to start the day. What do you think about Soxus? I will never trade that ticker again. No more depreciating assets, although that feels like it's all I've been in, even though they're not depreciating. So the gap we're talking about is 0.94%. We go over to that gap fill by size. Looks like we can customize it all the way down to custom range. Nice. So these ones, very unlikely that we get a fill on this. Even over the past 3 years, it's about a 1 in 3, a little less than a 1 in 3. Probably maintain bullish today. Trend is very much up as well. Is Fund Index Futures prop firm legit or a scam? Do you know anything about it? I don't. I was looking to try them out, but I don't. Not entirely sure on what additional lots I should add. I think today's daily candle won't go much lower. It was already created for gold. That was an insane move last night on it. Went down 100 points and then it popped back up like 50 or 70 points and went down again. It was disgusting. this move from right into open 4842 all the way down to, I guess it wasn't 100 points. I'm looking at the wrong one. 2 p.m. move. That was 100 points. Came back up 80 points, went down 75 points, came back up 50 points, went back down 40 points, and then all the way back up pre-market. If we get into this bracket, so if we somehow gap up another 0.5% here, and then we have a very, very slim chance of filling this gap down. And this is over the past 3 years. I do have a question for anyone that's in the live right now. Did TopStep ever make those corrections? I know they said in January. In January, they would make it right. But I haven't seen any updates. I haven't even seen TopStep be discussed on social media. Okay, we are just about gapped up 1% now. So if we push up another 18 cents, then this is going to be a 1 in 10 chance that we get this gap filled. With the gap fill by size. So we're at point, just about hit 1. Gap. There we are, 1 point, back down to 0.99. Just had a very tiny wick that put it at 1. There we go. It's at 1% now. Meaning it's unlikely we see the gap is down to all right. So we have a 1 in 10 chance of having this gap filled for today. It gives us an early bias going into today. We will not be looking for, unless we start getting some very strong momentum to the downside, we will not be looking for 1609. So we're going to maintain a local high. I think we should maintain a local high anyway. And then from there, we can maybe expect price to retest London 50, hopefully, if we get lucky. $25,651. Where are we right now? 25,651. Yeah, that's previous day's high. We should go and tap previous day's high. The London 50 is pretty much lined up with previous day's high. The last time that we made a gap like this, we did have bearish momentum for the entire day, but we never ended up filling the gap right here. There we go. So this was Wednesday, January 14th, and the Thursday. This was with news, so I wouldn't entirely include this with the data point, but typically, if you just go to, you're on my screen right now, Will Dive. Start new, we'll go to this. There was the 2 p.m. beige book. News completely invalidates all the data points, by the way, everyone. So if you see news come out and you see a crazy move like what we had yesterday, that's not something data can validate or invalidate. That's just par for the course. But this is the type of movement we typically have when there's a massive gap up like this, and that's because we have an exhaustive state of the market. There's not a lot of money flowing back in because all of it came in overnight or pre-market. So this is what I'd be anticipating. This one did almost wick to that previous day's high. I get actually kind of did right there if you're including the pre-market high, but regular trading hours, we never went and hit pre-market high. It did. And that's what it wicked off of at 10:45. But I wouldn't anticipate a massive reversal today. We'll be lucky if we get down to that level right in the opening candle. But I do think you can even go and look at Tuesday when we had a 1.5% gap down. Not really a whole lot of movement here. We had a $3.50 range for that day. So maybe if we get lucky, we get a move. Same thing on this Thursday. Same thing on Tuesday last week. Same thing on, we had another pretty large gap down. Maybe Thursday, January 8th. We'll see. I do like that for a pullback level because that's previous day's high. I'm sure that's where you're using it from. But yeah, that will, that's about all I have to cover for it. I don't really like trading big gap ups like this. I like trading when we have like a 0.2 to 0.3% gap, because those ones, gotta make sure we go back to the 6-month time frame. These second and first bracket gaps, if we have a gap down of 0.2 to 0.39%, we have a over 3 in 4 chance of filling it. And then if we have a gap of 0 to 0.19, which happens most of the time, the first 2 brackets happen most of the time, those ones are the best ones to trade. These gaps are pretty tricky, because if we do have that ultimate reversal, which Edgefield does have session reversal range, if this does happen, then it ends up being like a 1.5% reversal or 1.02% reversal. So right now this would be included in the ultimate reversal, and then you also go and use the outside days, and this is telling us that we have a 65% chance that it reverses back down. This is over the past 6 months. We do it over the past 3 years, it goes down to 50-50. And this reversal back down, by the way, is only to previous day's high. It's not saying that we're going to reverse all the way down to previous day's low, because that would be hyper unrealistic. That's a 17-point reversal. This was all off news yesterday. also. So very unlikely that unless the news that came out gets inversed, 25.8 is happening today. Yeah, I can see that. This is a pretty nice, with the overnight session, this is a pretty nice bull flag break right here. We had a bull flag from 4 all the way to 7:30. Let's catch up on, am I in socks right now? No, I wish I was. I wish I was. Good morning, Kurt. How you doing? Harris, how you doing? What's the indicator? The indicator comes with Edgeful. Edgeful, if you guys get Edgeful, or if you're currently using Edgeful and didn't know, Edgeful comes with an indicator for pretty much every report they have. So there's about 48. I think they have 48, maybe 50 reports. So there should be about 48 different indicators. I use the IB. 88 people also use that one. But you can see a lot of the other popular ones, order blocks. So if you slap that one on, it shows you where key resistance is. So it has order blocks automatically on there. Order blocks with wicks. That's the initial bounce I already have on there. So those are some of the more common ones. And then pivot points. This is a pretty cool one as well once it loads. So this is saying key points of resistance, resistance 1 or resistance 2, 3, support 1, support 2, support 3, and then that blue line's where you're most likely to pivot. But it needs like 15 minutes of data to provide something like that. These are all things that you can use with Edgeful. I don't use it because it gets a little bogged down for the information that I like to consume. So if you have too much in front of you, too much on your plate, you're going to get a little overwhelmed and you're not going to make as accurate of decisions. So I like to keep it nice and cool. I am EST time frame, yeah. Wow, I really missed a lot of these questions. What's going on, SR? How you doing? So you're adding new evals to your account arsenal. Do you trade evals at a more aggressive pace? Yeah, we're actually gonna. What the heck is just going on my phone? We're actually gonna trade the evals today. Same thing that we did yesterday. I have no idea what my phone just did. So I think this one will be a little more helpful to you guys. The Apex accounts, I'm already up 70 for the day. And then Lucid, I had a pretty crazy move last night. Those ones are up a pretty significant amount as well. See if we already fell down to that level you're looking for, wall dive, which is 651. Previous day's high, then that would fulfill that outside day stat. No, they haven't. Someone asked about it in their Discord, and the response from Ahmad was there's still 10 days left in January. I don't know what you guys are talking about in chat. The London range between NQ and QQQ are way different today. Yeah, that's why I use Qs. NQ's London range, just so you know, if you use NQ, it measures it from 1 a.m. to that 9:30 open. So the 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. candle is the same. That's why this wick goes all the way down to 619. You're not using just 4 a.m. to 9:30 on NQ. You're using 1 a.m. So whatever low was made at 1 a.m. And that one was all the way down at 25.42. That seems a little bit steeper, but it's about in line with where Q's is somewhat. London 50, I probably won't put as much emphasis on today because it's already in line with previous day's high. So those ones, it's pretty much the same level that you would be trading. I will admit London 50 hasn't really been all that spot on recently. I have my phone's like making rainbow colors all over the corner of it. What's going on, Matthew? How you doing? Nice NVDL cash secured put you had yesterday. I like that. Man, gold is making. It's another 40-point reversal. Less than an hour. Yeah, that's ridiculous. What do you say, yikes, do? I do have I got to figure out where to go and get rid of this, but I have this 10 ounce silver bar that I got to figure out where to go and sell. Should get like $900 for that. And then I'll go buy it back in, I don't know how long. Give it like another year, 2 years. I thought I used the 4 AM on NQ. Well, that's one of the reasons I don't use NQ at all. NQ just has there's a lot of variance on the chart. Sometimes it measures it from 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. And then you also have slippage overnight because there's not nearly as many people trading. Gold is... Whew. Imagine a long on that wick at 8:30. That wick low. Did we have data? Was it jobless claims that we had at 8:30? Let's see. We did. Jobless claims and GDP at 8:30. So that wick down, and then that would have been your Newswick low ad, 8:11. You just got about to be a 50-point move back up. Gold is on crack. Well, you're right, KP. Good morning, Rolo. How you doing? Looking for 4,880 on gold. Oh man, I didn't mean to close that out. That's insane. I cannot believe gold is making these types of moves. Just please make sure you guys aren't trying to partake in this with size at the very least. Most I would do, well, it's just me personally, is 1 MGC with like a 5-point risk. What are you going to say, Matthew? Sorry, I cut you off. Yeah, we have a bunch at 10. Whole lot of news at 10. PCE, personal income, personal spending, core PCE year over year. Actually double stacked on PCE because one of them is a delayed report. Oh, don't tell me that, Frenchie. No, I wasn't even looking. SPY and Qs are going the opposite direction right now. Qs is usually the one that's lying. SPY usually holds up a little bit better than Qs, and then Qs will push. So there's our outside bar or outside days filled. Now we should see some bounce at this level. The $2 opening candle already. That means we're going to get a really discounted entry on longs if you want to buy right now. We should bounce off previous day's high right here, but it's within the first 15-minute candle, so nothing from me. I see on one of your videos from Andre, we were set up for ultimate reversal. Am I correct? Yeah, but I don't. If it was any other day, so if we like, this is a better example of the ultimate reversal right here, Wednesday into Thursday, January 15th. This one still had news, so it's not as significant. For today, our ultimate reversal would be all the way down. I mean, at the very least, we'd get down to 616, but you'd want to continue further lower. I don't see it being that likely because this was a news event. This was Trump saying there's no European Union tariffs, and here's my deal for Greenland. We're offering them, I don't remember the exact number. I know for a fact that it's 100,000 per citizen of Greenland, which the base deal I want to say is $20 billion plus 100,000 per citizen. They only have 57,000 people living on it. So 55.7 billion off that. It's like a $25 billion deal. Right? 3 zeros. It's only 57 million? No. No, I had that right. 5.7. So like a $25 billion deal to try and buy Greenland. Seems a little cheap for buying an entire country, no? Can't even buy some land in the US for that much. There's that bounce off previous day's high. Very nice. So that is the. Why did I X out of Edgefill too? What am I doing? Edgefill for our outside days on Qs. We should have already fulfilled. Very nice bounce off previous day's high and London 50 so far. So we reversed. We already hit the target, which was previous day's high. So that should bump this back up towards like 62%. Not 62, 68%, 67%, something like that. Gold still pushing. Sure is. That's insane. If anyone in the stream knows more than I do about that Greenland thing, the Greenland deal, there was like 15 headlines that all came out at the same time yesterday. I don't remember what the exact deal was. Five accounts, Rafshan. What'd you get? Oh, nice. Was that 1 micro off that previous day's high? That was a pretty nice bounce. 1 micro, very nice. What was the bounce we just got there? 40 points. So $80 on 1 micro. Very nice, very nice. So I'd like to see us at least maintain where we are right now. I don't like that these two are countering each other. Qs has a lot of catching up to do. But I'd like to see us get, that might be a little extreme with how high, but at least over London high. And then after that, we can come down, retest London high, and then go up. That's what I'd like to see. Something like that. 52% on your NVDL cash secured put, Matthew. Very nice. Okay, this is going to bug me. How much does Trump want to buy Greenland for? $700 billion. What the heck? That is so far off what I said. Oh, okay. This is including infrastructure, future deals, defense departments. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot more. Oh, I guess I wasn't that far off. The base was 50 billion. And that's for the residents and just acquiring it. And then they have a deal with what they can get for the military. They're going to try to lease it. Huh. So with the addition of military base, Republic of Marshall Islands, Federated States of Macronesia, Palau, 500 to 700 billion all in with infrastructure deal royalty payments. That must be for oil if they drill that. Gold. I don't know if Greenland would have gold. 27,000 miles of coastline, 50,000 square mile island. Okay. Do I cook my eggs in butter or cooking spray? Cook them with butter. Just a little dab of butter on the skillet. I'll give you one guess who just asked that question, Matthew. Rent it for World War III. What am I going to spend my payout on? No way someone else just asked me that. Well, same answer that I gave last night to KP in here in live. I'm going to go probably lease a Lamborghini, film some content in it for a little bit. Say that I bought it. Make a course. Or MSTX, yeah. Okay, now they're lined up at least. We've already made a 0.4% drop on this opening candle. Dom said Greenland is saying no way to selling but political and economical deals maybe. They also say NATO has no right to talk on behalf of Greenland. Good to know. Me too just started. Yeah, is that what all of us are going to collectively go and lease some luxury cars with our payouts? Did you get a long or short, Roland? I want to pull up this as well, just so everyone doesn't go and blame Edgefield's data if we do have a trend down for today. It's very possible that we do reverse, but this one still never ended up going and filling. This was a 1.5% gap, so this is a little different. But this, if we go to gap filled by size, over the past 6 months is a lot better of a gap, or stat anyway. This can load. So were we gapped up 1 or just under 1? I think it was right at like 0.99. A little close. Either way, it changes it pretty significantly. If we were gapped up 1%, then it would be a much lesser chance, but we can still trend down like we did on Thursday and never end up going and filling the gap. So this one was maybe $2 away, $1 away, $1 away on the dot. So it almost wouldn't fill the gap, didn't quite get there. So it still fulfilled the stat and trended down for the entire day. I think we just closed almost perfectly. And where was our previous day's high? Previous day's high, 620.41. We just closed that candle at 620.42. We actually closed over previous day's high. I think we have our IB recently closed tabs. I think we have our IB high formed first on SPY as well. Yeah, we definitely do. Just went and took out a new IB low. Definitely have the IB low formed second on Qs. So now we just have to wait. We have a whole bunch of data at 10 just to keep that in mind. Short to London 50. There you go, Roland. Past couple of days have been real difficult in terms of trying to assess which direction we're going because of all the news that we've been thrown. So Tuesday, we had the initial Greenland and European Union tariffs, and then we just had all of it inverse yesterday, but not before, like just walking through the course of events we had. Saturday morning, European Union tariffs, Greenland deal. Market didn't like that, pushed down 2.4%. Inverse that entire move, and then yesterday at noon, 11:30, Trump said, I have an announcement for European Union tariffs. Everyone had some trauma from February. So this one, I guess, wasn't a news-driven drop. It was just people having PTSD of what was going to happen. So we dropped another $6 over the course of, well, we dropped $3 in 15 minutes, and we dropped another $3 over 30, making a bear flag ready to drop. And then Trump came out on True Social and said, psych, we're dropping the European Union tariff case and all in on trying to buy Greenland. And then we went from 680 all the way up to 688, which is a $9 move on SPY. Insane. Even better, $15 move on Qs. Yeah, our gap fill would be down to, I don't think we gapped up. Let me go make a correction on that tweet real quick. So our gap up was 0.98%. That's why we're dipping a little bit more. Man, I have so many scam bots trying to get people on my tweets. It's ridiculous. Oh, I almost had 11K followers. Oh. All right, now we'll be looking for, I need to get that error out of here, looking for a bounce up to all those levels we were just talking about and then down. Nothing on gold. No trades during New York on gold in here. We could, with all the data we have at 10 coming out here, we could very well inverse this move. We're going to touch midnight open on ES and NQ. Or is that all the way down here? Midnight open. There, we already hit it. 25,574. Bouncing off that right now. Make sure that Tradeify group works. Almost missed it. Definitely going to be looking for a retest up to go shorts. We just want this to hopefully go up to IB50. At least they're lined up now. That's good. I was about to get real mad at Bob there for a minute. At least we're getting volatility back. That's a good thing. I'd much rather have this type of price action than what we were given last week, especially Thursday last week. My Lord. Tuesday wasn't too bad. We got a good IB win on that, but last week wasn't really all that good for up, down, up, down. A lot of nonsense. A very nice bounce off that midnight open. Thank you for adding that in, Mike. That level was right. Wish they had a horizontal ray on here, but they do not. That level was right there. That's what we just bounced off. Change that to white. Make it a little bit thicker. There you go. So that's what we just ended up bouncing off right there. 25.6 also holding for a psych level. 620.88 would be a nice London 50, but 0.618 in New York, but too soon. And I'm gonna go ahead and wait for we have another 8 minutes. Unless we somehow get all the way back over previous day's high, which we did technically open this candle over previous day's high, even though it was just by 1 penny. This would be a massive sweep down on both SPY and Qs. Previous day's high also opened over that on SPY. So if we manage to hold this level, that's a huge sweep, and then we can anticipate some upside. If not, then we'll just wait for that data coming out, which, just to confirm it again, oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted market data this week. There we go. We have PCE, personal spending, personal income, PCE delayed, and then just the core PCE year over year core index. So we have 6 data points coming out in 8 minutes. And those ones are all expected to beat or increase. I think that should be a beat. And then tomorrow we have PMI and consumer sentiment. Tomorrow will be a pretty big one. We're looking at, these are all from September that we're looking at for these data points, which kind of stinks. So they might not be all that valid. We'll see. I remember everyone saying that we were never going to see those data points, but we are now, funny enough. Too early to front run the IB. Yes, way too early. Way too early. We might actually come all the way back up over this level. It's very possible. Never mind. Are you waiting for news? Yeah, I'm not going to take anything prior to news. Just going to be waiting. 620.84. Is that what we hit on? Yes. I don't know what 620.84 you're talking about. Is it on Qs? 620.88. All right, London 50 is at 620.80. I have it at 620.80 right now. Back at 10:30, work call. Hopefully we break the IB after 10:30 then. For your sake. Gold's movement kind of shut down there a little bit. So we got 3 minutes for the data. I know what the problem is. I'm playing the wrong music. The line I have drawn on here is what we're looking for shorts. And then I guess we very well might get this ultimate reversal down. We'll see. A little tricky to start the day. Get this all set up as well. Can't believe I used to just trade on my laptop. Now that I'm trading on my PC regularly, this is so much better. Love it. Just realized how small my laptop screen was. Definitely a lot more vibrant on my laptop, though. Patiently waiting. Gold's right at 50% of the IB. KP, you were very, very right to have gone long. Right, a long bias on gold today. Good job. $50 seconds to the news. Whole lot of news. I don't know how valid the delayed reports are going to be. It's a small inconvenience that we have. We're sitting at 484 on gold. Let's see what the implied move is. On gold, I'm sorry, on the implied move. Let's see if we've altered this implied move for the week. Options AI. Couple seconds for the data here. And looks like it came in bearish. Yep. Implied move for the week on NQ hasn't really changed all that much. Still just 1%. See if we get a nice wick back up on this. If not, then that's the IB low. And just leave that level there, actually. So they're still looking for the IB 50. Which made a slightly lower low. New low on gold as well. What website was that you checked the news? I just use Market Watch, market data. I don't really care what the actual results of the news is. I just want to make sure that we know what news is coming out when. I've always used them. They're not terribly accurate, but they usually get the big ones. And then for the implied move, this is Options AI. It's free. Just go and look up any implied move for pretty much any ticker on the market. Tells you what the implied move is, and this is all based off of open interest on the stock. No closure, no entry. Very nice. Sold my entire position because silver swept all the highs it created in tandem with gold. Gold just lacked momentum. Made it 170 per account. There you go. Very nice. Very nice. Happy to hear. I refuse to trade it during New York session. Been burnt too many times. SPY isn't really moving all that much off the data, is it? On Qs, I guess Qs isn't doing much either. It's crazy how much more vibrant this is on this laptop. I'm trying to see, so I have NinjaTrader logged into my other one. I'm trying to see if I want to get used to, I'm pretty okay with Tradeify. The moves on NinjaTrader seem, I mean, they're obviously the same moves, but the platform is just a little tiny different, a little bit different. Got my 3 McGriddles. You did DoorDash it? Three SEC McGriddles. Okay, we're going to look for a retest up. What's going on here? I just closed that. Was trying something, didn't end up playing through. I thought I was going to be able to maybe switch to NinjaTrader. That Tradeify's fine. NinjaTrader's UI seems a little tiny bit better. I will say that getting off of Project X has definitely made me more consistent because of how easy it is to get into trades on Project X. So if you guys are using Project X, I don't know what platform, it really just tops up, I guess. Project X is so incredibly easy to get into trades, especially if like logging into Tradeify, I have to come and sit down at my computer. It takes like 2 minutes for it to open up. It takes another minute or two for me to open up Tradeify, log in, look at the chart that I want to see. And that's actually the point that I'm going to transition to here. KP just said Tradeify is so unbelievably crap on mobile. I hate it. So part of the reason that I don't use, or I actually enjoyed not using Project X is because I was able to trade it on my phone, and that made me have a lot more access to the market. At the same time, it made me more inclined to take stupid trades just because I was bored and it was so easy to do it on my phone. So the point I'm getting at is that having Tradeify, even though it does look terrible, it's a terrible platform, terrible one to use for a UI. Once you learn it, it's really not that bad. And we go and look at Qs on TradingView anyway. So nothing's changed for us. The only thing is that we have this platform that we're taking the trades on as opposed to doing it on Project X. Quant Tower is very similar to Project X. Project X's Top Steps platform. The UI on it is really good. It has that drag and drop feature for your price targets. But what I'm getting at is that you have such easy access to get to Project X that it makes it very easy, very simple for you to get into stupid trades, stupid setups. Decent little wick and pop on gold. We might make that reversal all the way back down here on Qs. Very rare occurrence, though. Going to be looking for upside to get short on. To be ready for that. The reason that I'm not short early, like we were long early yesterday, is because we don't have that previous day's high to target. Yesterday's previous day's high was very accurate for us to go up and hit with a 78% chance. And you can see once we did hit that on SPY, that was our draw for the entire morning session. Had we not gotten that news or that little PTSD move at 11:30, who knows what would happen. But once we hit previous day's high and swept, almost dropped all the way back down to previous day's low, and then we got saved by Trump, saved by him saying no more tariffs on European Union. I have not used Quant Tower. I've not used them. Small little update for the Apex accounts as well. They did end up asking me for a detailed explanation of my trading strategy, which lucky enough I have all of it streamed, so not too worried about that because I have all the recordings of me taking the trades, minus a few Asia trades. It's not Apex's fault, though. They did, at the end of the email I read that, and it's funny that this gets left out of most of the hate posts on Apex on social media. They put at the bottom of the email that you are supposed to, when you open an Apex account, you're supposed to write out what your strategy is before you even take a trade on the evaluation accounts. That's not required for getting a payout, but they prefer that you tell them what your trading strategy is because then it prevents them asking you afterwards. It's not really that big of a deal. Well, that's just an honest review for the situation there. I will, yeah, I'll show you. Let me log in so I don't get the wrong Apex trader funding. I don't like I like it for the security reason, but I'm not a fan of the two-step authenticator. It just takes longer to log into it. You need the 6-digit code. Okay, so pull it up over here. There we go. If you guys go onto Apex, it's in the top right. Oh, I got doxed myself. Top right under trading strategy. This is where you go and type it out. So you click on that and then you type out what your trading strategy is. And I just did base continuations, London 50, yada, yada, all that stuff. So that's what they end up asking you for. But they did state that they like, it's up there in the top right for everyone as soon as you open the account. And if you do it early, then I'm assuming you probably just skip that phase if they do end up questioning any of your. Did I hear someone say that an ex-Apex employee started another prop firm? They did, yes. Have a pre-typed paragraph ready to copy and paste. You can do it when you set up the account. I missed that part. Yes, Rolo. Apex, their former, I want to say it's their former CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, opened day traders. It's either their CMO or CFO, but they are formerly, this is their platform. It's essentially identical to Apex, which is kind of weird. Either the guy got fired or who knows what happened, but it's damn near identical to Apex. They just undercut them by like $2 on everything, which is very funny. How? Means that no ors were at that level. Get wrecked with Project X. Yeah, they're all this is what their company is, Rolo. It's daytraders.com. They're not very well known. I don't know how many payouts they have. I guess they're pretty well rated on Trustpilot though. And it's a one-time payment, but they still undercut Apex on everything. Apex is essentially a one-time payment. I don't think anyone lets their evals go to the monthly recurring. We're making all sorts of moves on gold right now. Qs, we need a retest. We have 10 minutes for it to get back up to where we can take a short, and we're good to go short. I'm going to do with the range that we have today. Oh, good to know. That's weird. So you can obviously a lot of people probably knew this before me. If you right click instead of left click, you can drag your Tradeify chart without putting the order in, or without hitting that line in there. What happened? What happened, KP? Did you get filled? You want it to stop auto scaling? I just did that on accident. This is going to be so happy for me. I've been doing the left click, and every time it either scales it up or down, or it puts that order in. But if you right click, moves the same. Nice. Good to know. Good to know. Our opening candle high. There's our low. So we're looking for an entry at 25,632. Wow, that right click is going to make a world's difference. So many times I've tried moving the chart and it ends up putting that limit order in there on accident, or auto scales it. Crazy. That would have been a really nice long on gold, huh? It's the move that we just made on that. Yet again, another 20 points. Cool, 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 cool. How'd you get yours not to snap back? Huh? Just right click and hold it down when you're moving it. Right click, not left click. And just hold it, and then once you're done moving it, just release your finger. Not a fan of take profit trader. I'm probably going to end up going to build those accounts after I get these Tradeify accounts passed. And again, the reason that I went with the Tradeify Select, and I'm going to end up getting the everyday payout. I'm not expecting to take a payout every day. Just want to specify that. But everyday payouts on these select accounts make it so you do not have a profit target goal per day. So you can make $2, you can make $50. That's still a trading day. Kind of nice read into the rules on these accounts, if I say so myself. Very happy that I read that much into it and realized, if you guys do end up going with make sure that if you're trading the strategy that we cover in this stream, if you go to the select accounts, if you get the 50K selects, these are much cheaper. These are like 60% less than getting the 25K instant fundeds. If you go and select, you don't want to pick the payout structure that increases your payout size, because that is essentially just a top step account, and you need 5 winning days of $150. If you go and get the everyday payout, which is down here, all you need is a buffer. So these ones are essentially the same. The 50K accounts are actually identical to the Lucid 25K Pro test accounts. Almost got our pullback. Still need a little bit more Qs. SPY might be the better entry again today. We'll see. If you guys go and get these, make sure that you do. This is for the trading strategy, the model that I do in terms of aiming for small amounts and compounding those. This one is, I basically just added 5 Lucid 25K Pro test. Same payout. $1,000 drawdown end of day, starting contracts 2 and 2, which is identical to the 25K protest. These rules are the same. Maximum drawdown, you actually end up getting $1,000 more. So these might be a little bit better. No consistency rule, which is a little bit better. And then it's 90-10, and you get paid out in a day. Max payout's the same as Lucid as well. Trader has a 50K bounce, 53, and is 250 in profit. Oh, I see. Interesting. Oh man, I couldn't get past London low. 50K select daily is your call. I think it's better than the alternative. The other one is essentially just the top step 50K. It's the same as getting one of those evals. The main reason is the $150 winning day. I don't want to participate with that. Excuse me. The $150 days seem small, but they're pretty tricky to get if you're trading micros. How much micros, minis do you trade on the 50Ks? That's what we're live trading right now. So you'll see when I get in a trade, I have it set for right now. We're going to do 3 micros. Might go down to 2 because the range that we're looking at is 100 points. So it'd be a 600-point risk if I did 3. I'll do 2 for M and Q if we do get back up to that IB50. For MES, I'll do 3. Could even go up to 4. MES, we need to get back up to, for the ideal entry, we need to get back up to 6944. So another 12-point pop if we're lucky enough. I wouldn't really view that as a downside. 3 days to pass sucks if you're trying to degen the account and just get it immediately, but the benefit is that you do get, if you're going to degen it, you're going to degen it in the funded as well. And you get daily payouts once you're over the buffer. So you could, I mean, if you go on a heater and a half, you could make 25,000 in a week off these 5 accounts by only making 1,000 a day. 5,000 a day. You can take out everything you make. But that's if you go overly ham in the funded account phase. Overly aggressive. Are you playing on shorts? I am, yep. Just need to get a retest back up. I'm probably going to take it on SPY. SPY looks a little bit better today. We're looking for that 688.80. Qs would be up to 620.11. We haven't filled the gap yet, by the way, on either of them. So that stat's still holding true. We need a retest. We got 9 minutes, so hopefully it happens in the next 2 minutes. I might get in a little bit earlier than that 10:23 front run. We'll see. 3 MES is what I'm going to do, and the risk reward on that is going to be, that's a little wide actually, 16 points, 29 points. So we could actually we'll go down to 2 on this as well. That's still quite a bit on 2 micros. It's a pretty wide range on SPY. Usually SPY is a lot less than Qs. 29 points. Do the math here. A $290 risk. If we did 3, it would be almost $500. 460. Which is a little rich for my blood. What time frame? It's on the 15-minute Arvin. Just need to continue up a little bit more. We do have 7 minutes left. We want it to push a little bit more if it could. I think I already answered that, Harvey, but I'm going to be looking for adding those take profit trader accounts. I think the 25K accounts are basically the same as Apex. Very, very similar. Keep pushing. A little bit more. Might get in a little. Yeah, I'll try it right now. I'm going to get in a little bit early on SPY. So two MES? Yep. We'll buy 10 limit, and then our stop will be just before the IB. Oops, buy 10 stop, I mean. So short 2 MES. Could add into this one as well. I just got into a short on MES. Yeah, it might be a little early, but it's definitely early to the IB50. Short 2 MES to IB low. Entry is 6939. Stop is going to be 6963. It's quite a wide stop. Target's going to be IB low. Take a screenshot of this. I did officially get my affiliate code from Lucid, by the way. So first, I'm not going to shill it. I'm not going to put it in front of everybody every time they have a deal. But if you guys did want to support me, my affiliate code is just Zinc. There we go. Shit, should have gotten some more. Yeah, I'm actually going to just secure that there. $70. We do have, reason I just got out, we do have another 5 minutes for the IB. So if it ends up breaking that IB, that's not a validation of the IB break. That's just the close slightly lower on the IB. Out for $70 profit. Nice little win. It's going to be a little tricky for me to get back into slightly larger plays, because I did just trade this way on Apex for the past, well, I mean, I still am trading that way, but I did just trade a little bit more conservative on Apex for the past 3 weeks, almost a month. Nice little win there, though. Man, I thought 2 MES would have, did I do my math wrong again? I mean, we only missed, the IB low was only 5 points away, so I only would have made another $50 on that. I had to have done my math wrong. Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. 16 points brings it to 6960, and then another 3 points. So it's only a 19-point range, not a 26-point range, or 29-point range. I added another 10 for no reason. I should have done 3 MES on that. My bad. That was terrible math for me. Definitely would have done 3 there, which, I mean, only would have made another $30, but whatever. Wow, that was bad math. My bad. Missed out on another 30, but still a nice win. You get that short wall dive? Hopefully we get another entry on this. Nice. Oh, I can't believe that was terrible math from me. Nice win, nice secure on it, though. We're right back to where we entered. So that was 6944. How did I just mess up that bad? I thought that's so stupid. I thought 16 points was 695, and then I added another 13 points to that. That's how I got to 29 instead of 16 points, bringing it to 6960, and then adding 3. So it was a 19-point range on the IB for SPY. It's not a 29-point range. Ay. Locked in 150 across 10 accounts with that little short right there. Nice. Do I journal my trades? If so, how? I do, yes. So I journal them. I'll take a screenshot of this. We have in Frenchie coded this beautifully. So within our server, Frenchie coded this bot, has the setup outcome. You type in your risk reward on the trade, and then just a little note entry at IB50 at 1027, stop loss IB high, TP, IB low 130 points. That was one from 0114. That's how I journal them. We're going to get an entry coming up here. I'm going to go in again right here. Sell 2 MES, so 2 short. Buy 10 stop, and we'll put the limit down to low. And then this will be our actual IB trade. This one's just about at 50%. So it's a short 2, right at IB50. Stops at IB high, take profits at IB low. Copy trader slipped by a point, looks like a point or 2. And we are looking at for Thursday. Thursdays have been pretty tricky for the IB. They've been some of the actual data go here. They've been some of the worst days to trade the IB, but they are both lined up. Q is a little bit behind SPY right now. IB by rejection. We'll look at SPY since that's the one that we're in. So for a Thursday, I do know that the one of these is like a 60% measure. It's not very good. IB high form first break. IB low 62%. So it is still favored for the IB low. Qs might take it a little bit earlier than SPY. We'll see. You're bullish now, KP? Don't tell me that. If it ends up losing, it ends up losing, but this is an ideal setup for the IB. And if we do end up losing on it, it's going to be one of our first losses on the IB for a very long time. And it's only going to be, it's going to be risking the first trade that we just took a little bit more. It is not doing my math wrong this time. It's a 22-point stop. Right. 22 points. Okay. Times 5 times 2. So we'll be down, if this one does end up hitting the stop loss, we'll be down 110 on the day. Holy smokes, you guys have so many questions so fast. Locked in 150, already read that one. Should check out the RR tool, community drawing tool, and Tradeify. It's clunky but handy for doing quick position size calculations. I might have to if I mess up like that again. Locked in already. We didn't touch the IB low, right? Not yet. Not yet. IB low is still intact. It's down here at 6925, and then Q's 617.82. Pretty much break even right now. Oh man. Why did you take it on ES instead of NQ? NQ is not even close to its 50% yet. That's why I took it on ES. ES is a lot closer. That one's a little more optimal for the entry. Correct. I'm trading Apex, so if we get a good push, I take profit because intraday drawdown can be rough. Intraday drawdown is very difficult on Apex. Need Bitcoin to dump a little more to lock in some nice profit here. Can you please explain your trade? Well, we're in at 50% of the IB, a little bit early. But we're targeting an IB low break. That's the first hour range. We have a 62% chance. And then for Qs on a Thursday, Qs is sitting at a 57. Thursdays have been, as I just said, some of the rougher days for it. Thursdays haven't been all that good. Even with one MES, it's still 110 points or $110 if you guys want to do one instead of two. I'm on two because we're on the eval. And these also have no trailing intraday drawdown, which is very nice. Wow, gold just had a monster move to the upside. 23 points. Right at 50% now. Limit. MNQ is almost at 50%. Down 32 right now. What sizing do you recommend for the 25K eval funded in Lucid? I did 5 MNQ. I'd say is probably too much. I'm very keen on passing it when you pass it. There's no reason to rush it because it's a one-time payment with Lucid. So there's no reason for you to size up a crazy amount. You're in longs for the high. It's looking that way right now. We're at London 50 as well. MNQ just hit its IB 50. That one would be, actually hit it perfectly. That one would also be about 100 points. So $200 on that, $200 risk reward. Risking 60 now. My MGC trade closed right before the pop. Oh, that sucks. I like that big green line though. But yeah, you missed like another 20 points on it. That stinks. It's so easy for price to hit your stop loss, but your TP is so hard. Yeah. It's just how trading goes, man. That's how it goes. Thursdays, if this does end up being a loss, then maybe we can try to avoid it for Thursday because this isn't that good of a stat to trade on SPY. SPY is a little bit better. SPY's at 62, but Qs isn't really overwhelmingly bearish for Thursday. The data is not really that great. But for any other weekday, it should be catching up to what the average is, because Thursdays we've had close price action for 2 Thursdays over the past 6 months. That's part of the reason that it's not really all that good. Hopefully Freedom Trader caught this one. He was in a call until 10:30. Are you looking for the stat to be over 70%? The average on any given weekday is 73%. So I would like it to be higher for a Thursday. Obviously Thursday's not. It's 57, but part of the reason it's like this is because we had New Year's Day and Christmas closed. That's why this data is kind of off. A little bit off anyway. $50, $25, $66. There we go. SPY's looking a little better now. This would be the first loss we've had on it for a while, so it's well overdue. You're so good with these stats, the calculation, everything. That's what I need to learn from. I don't really do much. This is all on Edgeful. They're the ones that get the stats and back test everything. Gold is still moving. Jeez. That does stink that you missed that, Sean. I'm sorry. That was a crazy pop. Not really looking to add any. Man, oh man, did I miss the trailing drawdown or the end of day drawdown. So right now, if we were on Apex, this would be, because the trade was technically just up $40 there, we'd realistically be down 110 right now. 100. But the trade that we entered, we are okay with risking the amount that we are in for. We could add another lot. If it gets to like 75% of the IB, 689.81, we could add an additional 2. That's if it gets up there. You got to pump it. No. Let it come down to the IB low. Then you can go. Doesn't really matter which one we watch it on. I'm still going to do the same thing. I'll draw it on here. So we are in this short right now. Entry was right about there. TP and stop loss at IBI. I drew the London 50 incorrectly, didn't I? I did. Oops. Oh, 1 micro is more than enough for this. 2 MES is essentially the same as doing 1 MNQ. So it's not really that far off 1 micro, but the range that we have right now is 110 per MES. So $220 is what we're risking on this trade. If you were doing the same thing on MNQ, it's 220 for 1 MNQ. It's a 110 point range from the midpoint to the low, I think. Or it's just 100 points. Yeah, it's just 100. So it's $200 risk if you were to do MNQ, and it's per MES, it's 110 point risk. So they're about in line with each other. Still pass though, there you go. Slightly over IB 50 on Qs. There might be some other, like what you're saying, KP, that you're bullish. There might be some other things that I'm not looking at, like what your model's showing. Yeah, as a screen video. But I'm just basing it off of the IB stat, which, again, if it ends up losing, it ends up losing. We added our position. MNQ is printing a perfect entry right now as well. But if we do inverse, so be it. The only, I guess, the downside is that for the IB, not the IB. The downside for the IB is that the gap fill, very unlikely that we do get the gap fill, which we could do the same thing that we did on this Thursday, where it took the IB low. We had a very slim chance of filling the gap or continuing lower, ended up pumping, and then it came all the way back down with data at 2. But we don't have any other data today, so not sure what might hold us up. SPY isn't really pushing too much. Qs is pushing a little bit more than SPY. They still look good for the IB. Just a rejection off previous day's high. Should have sized more. Oh, you on that trade. What's going on, Randy? How you doing? Stop and say hi. Thank you, thank you. I'll drag that over to right there because that's where our entry was. That's what we're currently in. Can't believe gold's still going. Needs to chill. All-time highs on gold are not very far off. Another $1 to go. You know what? I might. Would that be too much of a risk? I'll do it with 1. I'll do it with 1 MNQ. We'll have the stop at the high, buy 5 stop, and yeah, we're only in for 1. Buy 5 limit. Got to make sure I remember to close those later today if I do take this for the full TP. All right, and that's what we'll have running for until the IB breaks. Are you the one on X that always talks about monitoring your size? If you're saying that if I'm the one that always says micros are better, then yeah, that would be me. Am I crazy to think 25, 475? 475 or 875? I thought you said 24, 8 earlier. 25, 8 earlier. It might happen. It's way up there. I wouldn't add on a funded account. I wouldn't add this additional MNQ. But because we're in the eval phase, if this again ends up being a loss, I'm okay with. We'll be down like 210 on the day, I think, maybe a little bit more. We'll see. Time will tell. Oh yeah, blue AM. That would be me. This one's probably gonna have a lot of patience behind it today. If it ends up taking that long. phone on my phone. 13 minutes in the stream. Like your post, thank you. SPY's not looking great right now. Still have a decent amount of room to the IB high. It's 10 points away. Just to clarify, when you trade MGC at 6 p.m., do you wait for the 15-minute candle close to retest? I usually wait for the first 30 minutes, Eddie. So for last night's example, that first 6 o'clock candle didn't really give you anything. It was just a doji candle. The second one, oh, actually, no, I'm right. This is the momentum that you're trading. I usually wait for the first 30 minutes. Sometimes when you have this strong of a move down, you can chase it a little bit. Like last night, you definitely could have. But usually the first 30 minutes, and then I'll slap this on there. If it retraces to 50%, that's the best entry for a short, which it ended up doing right at Asia Open. So that would have been a decent opportunity to short it. But I ended up chasing it on that first 15-minute. View the Glopex Open the same way that we do for New York Open for the 15 minutes and not taking a trade on the first 15-minute candle. Because there's going to be a lot of volatility on that one. Starting to get a little bit of a rejection here. Down $78, $80 in these two positions. I have 3 open total. How many trades now in these accounts to get to 50? We had the 2 trades yesterday, and then after stream, I ended up getting capitalized on these shorts in the afternoon. So I think like 4 total. And then we have these, I had 1, 2, and then 3 so far for today. So like 9 trades. I want to reassure to everyone, or reaffirm, I'm not sure what word I'm going for there. The sizing stays the same, so it's dependent on what the market wants to give you. Yesterday, we made a ridiculous move, 2 ridiculous moves. We had if you longed open, or if you longed to the IB or a previous day's high, like what we were targeting for yesterday, that was beautiful. Had I held it the whole time, that's on one micro, like who knows, $400, $500, because it was a 250-point move from open to previous day's high. And then we had another 200-point move down, and then we had another 400-point move to the upside. So days like this are where you capitalize the most. And we should be up a decent amount now. Yeah, there we go. You're up 30, 40 points on the M and Q short now. And then MES is also just over break even. So the trade from yesterday, this is what you get for fast passing, if that makes sense. These are what you want to see for, you don't want to go and be like, I need to pass these accounts in 2 days, 3 days. So I'm going to go in with 2 NQ. It's not the case. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you're trading the same size and you let the market deliver the volatility to you. So for the IB trade for today, 100 points up or down. We're comfortable with the risk. It's okay if it loses. It's okay if it wins. We prefer that it wins. Yesterday, if you did want to, and probably part of the only reason that I did it in the afternoon was because it was on an eval. If I was on a funded account trading that, probably not going to take news moves at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2:15, whenever Trump happened to tweet. However, those are where you get your fast passes on eval accounts from, when the market wants to make a pretty valid, this was 25.74 up to 25.5. So actually a 500-point move into open, 400-point move right back down. And then we went from 25.142 all the way up to 25.650. So 500 points up, 400 points down, 500 points back up. If you caught, not saying that you're going to catch that entire move, but one micro on the way up, that's $1,000. One micro on the way back down, that's $800. One micro on the way all the way back up, that's another $1,000. So if you were some godlike trader and you only did one micro yesterday, $1,000 in the first trade, $800 on the second trade, $1,000 in the third trade with one micro. Versus a day like this where we're not really getting that significant of movement, so you're not going to be able to get a quick, fast pass or that much profit. And then the same thing for last night on gold. Gold at 6 p.m. last night, 70 point drop in maybe 30 minutes. So one MGC on that move, that's a $700 move on one MGC. Even if you catch half of that, that's $300, which I managed to catch 20 points of with 2 micros on the Lucid accounts last night. That's how you get big profit days. That's, I think, the correct way that you should get big profit days, not doing it with one NQ, capitalizing on a 10-point move and being like, man, I'm up 200. This is awesome. Because at the same point, 10 points is very easy to go and wick and stop you out of something. So that's how I go about trading the same size, and then you let the market deliver the volatility to you. You don't want to go and size up a crazy amount. That's always the question that I get for evals, and how do I pass evals and pass them fast enough? But don't get, and I still do this from now. I think that I'm better than trading. So I will size up to try to pass an eval fast, and I might get lucky. I used to do this pretty consistently with Top Step. $1,500. Okay, I'm going to go take 2 GC, just aim for a 7.5 point move. I'm sized up about 2x as much as I would be on these. Even though I'm in one micro right now in MNQ, I would probably do, for the 50K eval, I'd do 2 of them. And then I'm in 2 MES for this account right now. For a 25K account, I would stick with 1. Everything comes back to the Lucid accounts. So the Lucid 25K Pro Test, as long as they still offer those anyway, even if you wanted to do the black accounts, it's a one-time payment on all Lucid accounts. So if you're struggling to get a payout, if you're struggling blowing accounts, go to Lucid, build up with the Lucid 25K accounts, and then use the payouts from those 25K accounts to fund your other payouts or fund your other accounts, whatever you want to buy. For the sizing, Bob, I do probably 1 micro on the 25Ks because your profit target is 1250. If you're doing it on Apex, it's 1500. 1250 for a profit target. Again, going back to looking at yesterday, that's 1 trade on 1 part of this move. Obviously, you're not going to catch the whole thing unless you have some crystal ball that you know Trump is going to tweet at 2:50 in the afternoon on a random Wednesday. But you get the point. To pass an account, a 25K account with 1 micro, you only need to catch 600 points, which, yes, that's a lot. But for the trade that we're in right now, this is 110 points that we're going to capitalize on if it hits the full TP right here. And that 110 points, that's 110 out of the 600 that you need to pass it. And then moving forward to the next day, if we get 130 points tomorrow, then we're almost halfway to passing the 25K account. Aklo usas Parahoy K Abria bearish. I am bearish, yes. I actually understood half of that. I took a little Spanish. But thank you for putting the last word in English. I believe it said, why are you bearish? I got a really good entry on Apex on that, so I got 100 for the day on the 20 Apex accounts. And then just waiting for this to develop a little bit more. Apex accounts kind of stink in terms of the trailing drawdown. I see that a lot more now that we're trading back on the Tradeify and Lucid accounts. Man, oh man, did I miss having this end of day drawdown. It was so nice. But the trailing turns into end of day once you get over the buffer. Yeah, but then you just have to maintain over the buffer. That's the hardest part. We are up 38 right now overall. Oh, $50. There we go. We got a nice little dip on SPY, it looks like. So if we hit full TP, we should be up about 400 on the day. So you just got to keep making that buffer. Yeah, I think it's a mental thing just as much as well. Opening candle continuation bearish. It is bearish, yeah. Opening candle continuation first 30 minutes and the first hour they closed red. So it should be bearish. Up 70, 75. Well, that will do it for the time frame for the stream today. I just have to wait. You want me to win, but that means I lose? Should have taken the IB trade then, man. I want you to win too. I'll probably just leave this at 1-to-1. If it ends up hitting, it hits. Great. If not, then it's a loss. I'm still winning today as well. I'm up. I did just enter another short on MES on Apex, but I'm up 95 on those right now. And then the big one from last night, Lucid. Pretty crazy. The big one. I know I say big one on the 25K accounts, but still almost a 5K day. $4,000. Well, not almost a 5K. What am I saying? It's $4,000 day. Yeah, I caught that gold move last night. Overtrade a little bit on it, but it wasn't terrible. These are all one M&Q ads, and then the big one right here for 416. And that was because I was already at 400. So I was like, man, I'll risk it 1-to-1. And that thing teleported down for me. It was awesome. What's the consistency? I just added these accounts on. I'll actually log into this. Hopefully I won't get banned for that. Just a second. I don't think I'll DDoS myself again. So these accounts I just added on Tuesday. I wanted to qualify for that Apex payout before I added them. So these ones I have 455 left to make it to the qualification, and then these, the best part about these accounts is it's just $50 to qualify for a trading day. So I need to make over the next 3 days like 150 a day, just about 150, 151 a day, and then it's a 5K payout from this. These are always these 25K pro tests, even if you end up going and getting the 25K black accounts. These are where you need to come back to if you are struggling to get payouts, because they are the easiest account to get a payout in the entire space. Incredibly easy for maintaining the balance if you're just doing one micros. You're just doing one micro, not micros. Just doing one micro, very easy to maintain the balance. End of day drawdown, $1,000 payout per account, and it's like $60 to get an account, depending on when they do the sale. I got these for $72. I got all 5 accounts for just over $350. So these ones are, if you guys are struggling, come back to this, take it slow. One payout will be enough to fund. It will easily give you back the money that you spent on these accounts, and then you can use that to go and fund however many other accounts you want. And I'm not going to show it, but my referral code link for these now is Zinc. I'm not very proud to shill affiliate codes, but if you guys did want to support me in that way, it's just ZINC. But those are always going to be the ones that I go back to if I'm ever struggling with a payout, if I'm ever down mentally on trading. Go back to those Lucid accounts, get a payout with those, because they're that easy too. That much. I shouldn't say it's easy to get a payout, but they're that much easier to go and get a payout on Lucid. Still in the position right now. I'll probably just leave this one running for the day. We peaked up 70. No trailing intraday drawdown, so no reason to risk it too much. MES is the reason that we're down a little bit right now. MNQ is up about 30 points on that entry. But that will do it for the stream today, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. I will see all of you tomorrow in the Discord. Peace out. Trade's going to be running with the stop loss and take profit in place. I'm still just leaving it until... The reason I'm not staying in the stream until it breaks is because we have a damn good chance of something like this Tuesday happening where it didn't break until 3:30. And I'm not sitting in the stream until 3:30 watching paint dry. So it will be set and forget until it either breaks or we get a price target alert. Watch it just trade in between. Don't even say that. Like this Thursday right here. This one. Or just does nothing. All right, see you guys later. As for everyone else in the YouTube stream, in the X stream, can you show your trade one last time? Yes. Yep. So I have MNQ short, 25,645. Stop is at IB high, take profit IB low, and then MES. MES is looking a little bit worse for wear right now, but should hopefully still play out. Funny with that word easy versus easier. Yeah, I know I shouldn't have said easy. They are I think they're the easiest ones to get the payout in the space. All right, guys, if you enjoyed the stream, make sure to drop a like. I will see all of you next Tuesday. No lives tomorrow. But peace out. Have a great rest of your week. Hopefully a great Friday, great weekend. I'll see you guys on Tuesday.